Hey folks, this is immigration attorney Hassan Abdullah, and I'm creating this video to do something a little bit different. What I'm going to do in this video is basically pretend to be a potential EB5 investor while also playing the role of the immigration attorney in the consultation. So I'm not going to obviously go into too much depth, but at least I'm going to give a bit of a rundown to help you understand what are the normal things that people would ask about when they're interested in the EB5 program. So this is completely unscripted, and it'll be an interesting video, I'm sure. So I think if I were an EB5, potential EB5 investor, the first thing I would ask is, how much damage is this going to cost? Like, what is the amount I have to invest? Maybe damage is not the best choice of words because you're putting money into an investment and you're expecting a good return, or at least not really a significant loss. So, the amount you need to invest, that's the first question. The thing is, you have to invest at least, as per the current rules, 800,000 US dollars. And that is if you are investing in a targeted employment area, TEA. And there's a map that shows what qualifies as a targeted employment area. TEAs are places where the unemployment rate is 150% of the national average, and other areas which need certain economic development. So that's the targeted employment area, and that basis allows you to invest 800,000. But otherwise, you can get an EB5 by investing at least $1,050,000. That's currently the rule. So that's how much you have to invest. Okay, interesting, right? What usually invariably follows is, do I have to actually invest the entire amount right away? The answer is not necessarily. You can have the investment in a structured system where it will be spent out over a period of time, but you have to have at least proof that you have the means to make the entire investment. So you still have to show at least you have the $800,000 available. Okay, so another question that usually follows this is, how long is it going to take me to get the green card? So that's a very good question. Now, the actual processing time, if you look it up, is pretty absurd. It takes years for your green card petition to get approved. And so what do you do in the meantime? Well, if you're here on an H-1B visa, for example, many people are, and they've made quite a bit of money on their time on H-1B, and they're looking at potentially applying for EB5, well, there's a new rule, somewhat new rule, based on a rule change that allows you to apply for adjustment of status while you are here. So that's great because you file the petition and then you apply for adjustment of status. You can even let your current status lapse. You don't have to maintain your current status because you will be pending adjustment of status as soon as you file the investor visa. And that allows you to get work permit and allows you to get a travel authorization advance parole, yourself and your spouse. You could also conceivably come here as a visitor. And when you come here as a visitor, your family can be here with you. You can then basically inspect whatever options you have for investment and then set yourself up for the EB5 and concurrently apply for adjustment of status, potentially for yourself and your family. So that's also a great option. It's practically like having a green card. You apply for adjustment of status with work permit, advance parole. You and your spouse can stay here, work. You can travel overseas, come back, and kids can go to school, no problem. And you can get this practically right away while you're waiting this somewhat lengthy wait time to get your green card. And it is a conditional green card. Okay, so the invariable other question that people ask is, okay, are there any conditions? I just put this money into an investment, maybe I'll buy some real estate. And I'll be a real estate and developer, that's my company. But hold your horses. There's another rule that makes that idea not exactly that feasible usually, which is you have to also create 10 jobs. So you don't have to create jobs right away, but within a period of time, you need to create 10 jobs through your investment. And that will be necessary to prove when you need to remove your conditions. Okay, the invariable question there is, what do you mean by remove conditions? Well, when you get your investor visa, eventually what happens is you get a 2-year conditional green card and you have to remove the conditions. And you remove the conditions by filing another application when you're getting close to the end of that 2-year period. And then you have to demonstrate that yes, your investment did create 10 jobs for US citizens or US permanent residents. So these are some of the typical questions that people would have in the EB5. And there's also this thing that people will ask, okay, I think they would also ask this question. I've heard, because when people do their research, they hear about these things, there's a regional center EB5 and then there's a direct investment EB5. What's the difference? Well, the regional center EB5 is where basically there's these programs that have kind of applied for this process to be pre-approved in a way. And so you don't have to actually set up the business. You find these programs and you invest into them. And through these programs, you meet the requirements for EB5. Whereas direct investment, you are setting up your own business and you have to prove that your investment directly created 10 jobs. It is a little bit more complicated. And so you can imagine the majority of people who apply for EB5 do it through the regional center program. So this is just a few of the questions that people typically ask in an EB5 consultation. And of course, a consultation would take a lot longer than this video. And if you are interested in the EB5 program, you may qualify if you are, that is, if you're interested and you believe you may qualify, contact us and we will be happy to assist you further at the American Visa Law Group. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.